Hello, everybody. Welcome on board. I'm Peter the Book Lover, and I have a YouTube channel to where I talk about books and movies, and I have a great time doing it. Hopefully, we'll have a good time together. And in this video, I'm going to talk about this book right here. This is Pippi Goes on Board, and this is written by Astrid Lindgren, and this is a pretty good children's book, and I'm going to talk about it. But before I get into the book, I want to let you know that I appreciate you giving me your time. If you like the video, please hit the like button and let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear from you. It'd be a lot of fun. And also, this is my cat Layla. You might not be able to see her that well, but she's always on my lap these days. So, right now I'm doing a Read What You Own challenge. It's a challenge to where you read 100 of your books. Well, I mean, there's different tiers, but I'm going for the 100 tier of books. And you read books from your collection before you buy new books. So I think it's a great idea because I really want to read the books that I've collected. That's why I've collected them, because I want to read them and I don't want them just to sit on my shelf. So this is inspiring me to read a lot of books. So this is book number 26 that I've read for this challenge. And this is a pretty good children's book. I'm actually been reading a lot of different books during this challenge. I've done some graphic novels, but actually I'm going to be reading more children's literature and shorter books so I could get through this challenge a little bit quicker, because I'm joining a book club called Book Minded. It's was started by Eaton Ayash, and I'm going to put a link to the video where she introduced this book club, and also link to her channel, so you can check it out in the description. And we're reading Wuthering Heights. I'm going to talk about it in a second, but before I get into that, I want to talk about this book right here. Now, I have read the book Pippi Longstocking. This is written by the same author, Astrid Lindgren. I have to look at it because I forget this name. This isn't an easy name to remember. It's kind of unique. But the first book that I've read of Pippi Longstocking was called Pippi Longstocking. And it was a big surprise for me, because when I read it, I was expecting a children's book, and I wasn't expecting much from it. I thought it was just a goofy child with red hair and weird looking clothes, and she was a weird looking character. But when I read the book, I was surprised to find out how strong she was. And in the first book, Pippi Longstocking, there's several times that you get to see how strong she was. And there's a lot of comedy in this book and in Pippi Longstocking. They were both very comical. And this is the second one, and this was pretty decent. This is a pretty good read. I did enjoy the first book more than this one, but this is a pretty good sequel of Pippi Longstocking. And the thing about it is that there's two parts of this book that were my favorite. The first favorite part of mine is when she goes to a fair. And when she goes to this fair, there's a show in the fair that she goes to, and it's a show about somebody getting murdered. And when she's watching this play, she actually thinks this person's going to actually murder this person. She doesn't know that it's like acting. So she really causes a disturbance, and she stops this guy from trying to kill the character. And she kind of ruins the whole show, kind of makes everybody angry, and she gets kicked out of the show. And then she goes to another part of this fair. There's a menagerie there, a bunch of animals, and there's a couple snakes, and she lets one of these boa constrictors out of this basket, and it goes to choke her, but she's stronger than the snake because she's very, very strong. Her strength is one of the most amazing parts of this story. But yeah, she fights this boa constrictor and wins, and then she runs into a tiger that gets away, that escapes, and she takes the tiger and wrestles with it and captures it, and she has more strength than the tiger. And then later, a little bit later, at the same flare, there's a person that everybody's intimidated by because he's a really strong bully type of character, and nobody will stop him from doing anything. He can do whatever he wants because he can overpower everybody that's around him. And he goes to this hot dog stand, and he's just telling this guy to give me your hot dogs, and the guy tries to charge him, but he's still, he just takes the hot dogs and starts eating them, and he's like bullying this person. Pippi Longstocking sees this, and she takes this person and starts throwing him in the air, and she puts him in his place, and this guy learns, not to mess with people, and he's humiliated. And Pippi Longstocking is kind of like a hero of the fair. And then leading up to the second part that I really liked is that there's several times, because they're doing all these little adventures, there's two other characters that she hangs with, Tommy and Anika. And she has a monkey that's always with her, Mr. Nilsson, and she also has a pony. And they're doing all these adventures. There's like a time when she goes to a candy store and buys everybody candy, and everybody really loves this character. But there's several times that she mentions that her father is a sailor, and he's also a king of cannibals. And there's a part of this book where he actually comes to find Pippi Longstocking, and it turns out he was a king of cannibals, and he was a pretty fun character. They have this party, and it's a pretty interesting party. He's dressed as a sailor when he shows up, but then he gets in his cannibal king outfit, and it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, this is not the funnest book. It's not, it's a children's book. It's very simple, but I actually had a decent time reading it. It was pretty good. And although Pippi Longstocking is a better book, and I highly recommend that one. That one was really good. So there's that. Now, I'm almost done with this book right here. This is Wuthering Heights. This is by Emily Bronte. I've also read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and that is an awesome book. Now, this book, though, this is the book we're reading for the book club. And the thing about this book, more so than any other book that I've ever read, and I'm not saying this because it's a confusing book, but it is kind of confusing because there's a lot of characters that they call by the first name and the last name, and a lot of people, the names can confuse you a little bit when you first read this. This is a book that, if you want to read this, I think the best way to read this book is to read it and then immediately reread it again, and it's going to be a lot clearer the second time. Not because it's difficult subject matter, it's just you could get the names confused and characters confused a little bit. And this is what you call a gothic novel. And I've always seen Gothic as like people wearing black clothes, but actually Gothic would be kind of like Dracula's castle with a lot of cobwebs and stuff. Great Expectations, you could actually call that kind of a Gothic novel because there's a character, Mrs. Havisham, in Great Expectations. You would consider Gothic because Gothic is kind of like depressing. But yeah, I'm almost through with this, and this is a really interesting book. But yeah, I do recommend that this is a book that you should plan on reading twice in a row. Not because it's a hard book and it's really confusing, but placing everybody, all the characters in the story, would be easier if you read it the second time around. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to talk about what I'm going to read next. I'm going to be reading a lot of other books in this series. This is the I Survived series. This one is the American Revolution, 1776, and I really love that time period. I read quite quite a few books on George Washington, and he was a big player in this Revolutionary War. These were written by Laura Tarshish. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I can't find a way to pronounce her name. Usually I could I go online and I ask how you pronounce a person's name, and they usually give it to me. But this name I cannot find it pronounced, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But yeah, this is going to be set in the Revolutionary War, and I'm looking forward to reading this. This is a children's book, but it's really interesting because it's based on actual history, and I do like history, but this is not going to be very deep into history. This is probably going to be a little shallow. I don't know though. I haven't read any of these. I've got a good collection of these. You know, here's just a couple of what I have. I've got I survived the attack of the Grizzlies in 1967. I survived the Civil War. I survived the Battle of D-Day, 1944. And I also got this one. This is based off of the story that inspired Jaws, the shark attacks of 1976. Plus, I've got other books in this collection. But I'm going to start with this one, and that's going to be book number 27 on the Read What You Own Challenge. So, that's about it. I'm Peter the Book Lover. This is my cat, Layla, if you could see her. See, there she is. She's my little Cinnabon. And I really want to thank you for being here. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I love connecting with the audience. It's one of my favorite parts of doing this. So let me know what you think. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. That really helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you really like this video and you want to see more. So that's it. I am Peter the Book Lover, and I will see you next time. See ya.